Spirit has chosen the thirds B.M.E spread for your general monthly reading. B.M.E stands for beginning, middle, and end, and this spread is an excellent one for when timing is important. There are tarot cards that point to early and late in the month, but there's no clear way for them to say, pay attention to the middle. Until now, thirds helps us assign information into these three sections. And that is what we're gonna do today. Welcome in, guys. So good to have you here. My name is Scott Sagent, and I am ready for your July 2024 Psychic Tarot reading. First order of business, let's get those cards on the screen for you so you can take a look as I explain this different format this month. As you notice, I'm not here in person. I am in an audio reading because I had a little bit of an eye injury. Don't worry, I'm just fine. However, I'm not so hot to look at right now. So we're going to do this a little bit differently this month. It's going to be a little interactive, different vibe, different feel to it. Some of you might really enjoy it, I think, because you're getting the point of view from my side of the table and going card by card. I might even throw in some graphics to illustrate certain points as we go. And don't worry if you don't see the cards that well. I know the screens, sometimes we watch these videos on small screens, our phones. Maybe you don't see the cards clearly. I'm going to make this in a way so that even if you're just listening to me, it'll make sense to you. So let's get started with your reading right now. All right, Virgo, here we go with some thirds. B.M.E. Let's talk about some July, shall we? Let's get this timing right. The first thing worth mentioning, you can see on my screen I have it broken into three groups. I think you can see the columns there. The left is, of course, beginning, middle in the middle, and end will be on the right. We're going to start this kind of in linear order, go at the beginning first. This is the first 10 days or so in July. The first thing they talk about here, I don't have to connect to it, so I read the middle card first, my major arcana card of Temperance. I think I covered up where it says Temperance there, but that's what she is. This is the card about patience, okay? So at the beginning of the month, Virgos have done a good job with being patient, waiting, not being too erratic or, getting deterred, getting off the beaten path, even if things have not gone your way. Okay, you've done a really good job of keeping the course, and that is what they show there with my Temperance card. Now, there is kind of some fluff in here, and it's a very mixed bag. So this is probably one of those times where the general reading is going to be in that way, and maybe this part doesn't even apply to you. Maybe just the middle does. Maybe just the end does. I believe we have so much stuff in here that personal private reading is probably the best advice I can give Virgos, but I still have to read what's here. I always do my due diligence and try to get you, throw all the pickles at the wall and you just, take and run with what you take and run with. But one of the things that comes in here is my Four of Wands. That's the card on the left, all the way on the left. This is an event. This is something that is usually a very pleasant event. An event is something out of the ordinary, something that doesn't happen often or regularly. Okay, so maybe this is hanging out with a friend you haven't seen in a long time, going to do something extracurricular or something that you wouldn't normally do. That's a fun event. I mean, just like going to a wedding, going to the movies for some people, whatever it is for you. Okay, so that may be either in the works. You might already know what I'm talking about by saying this event in July. Or for others of you, maybe this is something you should consider, going to do something a little bit special. They bring in a leg up with my Oracle Angel card. This is like getting to the next level, just like you can see the polar bear climbing on mama's back there. It's getting to its next level. So it's really trying to tell you to level up here is what Spirit's saying. They're trying to tell you to bring this to the next level. And what exactly are they talking about? You see, that's the thing. They haven't really told us. But we have another moving part in here, so let me get to that and I'll kind of come back to the polar bear. We have the Five of Pentacles here, which means bankruptcy, loss, being left out in the cold, and abandoned. Okay, no energies that we want to be hearing about, Virgo, especially, as July kicks off. So what they're saying here, this could be as simple as a very large purchase and you just had to fork out a lot of money for it, or a lot of money being moved towards something that you didn't necessarily want to do. Like if you have to buy a roof, for example, well, there goes 10K, out the door. Didn't really want to spend that right now, but there it goes. Now they got me on that, something like that. So when this comes up, the best I can give you here for Virgos is to just be cautious about finances, especially early in the month, because we don't want this to affect us. Okay, we don't want to be bankrupt. We don't want to like lose everything. We don't want to be running dry and like how we're going to get the money for our next bill, or where's it coming from next. We don't want to be like that. So because of that, when this comes in, it's kind of more preemptive than anything else. It's a preventative. They're just trying to tell you, hey, this is where you need to act so you don't end up that way. Or for others of you, like I said, it could just be a very large purchase, very large amount of money that wasn't necessarily pleasurable. And then we go back to a leg up. So maybe this is for a reason. I'm not a reason that I don't necessarily understand, but is still there present. And maybe for some of you, you understand the exact reason right now. Maybe this is not something directly that I'm supposed to understand. Maybe it's something that you are, though. As we get into the middle of the middle of the month, which is the middle 10 days, let's call it the 11th through the 20th, something like that. Here we start off with the Queen of Wands. This is the Not My Woman card. They said we're not talking about a person. We're using the energetic definition of my queen here. This is the nurturing of work, and they're saying it needs attention, Virgo. I don't know if this has been neglected. For some of you, maybe. But the work corner is a big place in everybody's life. And where you kind of fit in there is kind of where you're at and what you got going on. Because it can be work, business, enterprise, area of study, collegiate courses, retirement if you're of that age, entrepreneurship, the JOB for most people, hobbies and interests, learning new things. All of that falls into the work corner. So what they're calling for, whether there was neglect there, whether you left that alone, or if you've been doing a really good job of work, you're going to need to do a lot more of it middle of the month. Okay, this is saying like work needs to be the focus right now, whatever you got going on in that corner. The middle of the month is the key for it. The 10th through the 20th, there's obviously some big opportunities in there that you might miss if you weren't doing the work and the due diligence and everything that you had to possibly do to really get to the next level, because they also give you time to go in my Oracle Angel card. So they're saying that something needs to be left behind here, or maybe just to pay attention to the timing. Okay, so the 10th through the 20th is going to be huge for work, for Virgo work pushes and incentives and things that you're trying to do there. The other thing I want to mention too is Virgo, for the first time ever, is getting an urgent reading for July. You guys are getting a telling time, which pinpoints a time. Usually it's set in the future, but they want to tell us about it right now so we can be prepared for this future event like in July. So that's going to be very interesting. That drops in about 7 to 10 days from this reading, maybe earlier if I get around to it. I'm going to try to get these things done around the 4th of July. No promises though, but either way, we are going to look at that telling time. And that's going to be interesting to see what they talk about there. And maybe about this. We also have the 10 of Wands inverted coming in there. You can see that guy trying to carry a bunch of sticks that kind of fell. And of course, being upside down and inverted like this, it makes it look like he's free falling even worse. So this is really saying that, you guys have all the knowledge here. And you're not necessarily using it to the way that your full potential is. Like you guys have such a high ceiling here. And Spirit is really kind of challenging you to reach for that high ceiling. Go higher. We talked about a level up in part 1 here in the beginning, and now we talk about that here in 2. They're basically saying you have all the tools already. You're ready to go. So the middle of the month, you really need to get rocking with some things, Virgo. So let's get moving there. And that's only going to set us up for success in August and September. And I say us because, I'm a Virgo here reading with you guys. Love you all. So anyway, getting to the end of the month now. Now when we reach our end, this is the perfect time to remind you that this is a general reading. We're reading for all of your Virgo friends, not just you. So if you are looking for messages that are personal, private, specific only to you, not all your Virgo friends, those are available on scottsagent.com from small all the way up to full service. I have a little bit of something for everybody there, whatever you're looking for. And if you've been thinking about getting a reading, hey, you know what? This is the best time to do it because I'm doing a big blowout sale for July. It is the biggest discount that I ever offer. It is 40% off of any service on the website. You enter July 40, all capitals, JULY 40 at checkout. You enter that, it lops off 40% right off your total. My services are a great value at full price, and they're even a greater value when they're 40% off. Guys, do not miss this deal. scottsagent.com, something for everybody there, whatever you're looking for. Story 3, or not story 3, but it is kind of a story within a story, your end of your month, last 10 days or so. They bring in here bad credit. So a lot of Virgos need to be cautious about things you're putting your signature on as far as like lines of credit, money being placed or invested into things, because things can be fraudulent here. They didn't come out and say that, but when they say bad credit, this is usually like something that you don't get your return on. Okay, really bad time to enter the stock market. I believe that just in general, that's on its way down. But or at least in a reset or a recession. But this is Spirit here is saying bad credit. So it's kind of clear that your money moves. They talked about in the beginning of your month how important it is not to be bankrupt. And here in 3, they're talking about don't put money anywhere unless you're guaranteed it's going to come back to you, even if it's a loan to a friend. It's somebody, hey, can I borrow $1,000? I need to get a new water pump for the house or whatever. Are you sure you can trust this person? Are they going to pay you back? That's the kind of stuff I'd be asking about here. We have the Devil card that came in first. Maybe I should have read that first, but this is the purging of bondage. Things that were stuck to you before that you don't want to be stuck to you again. This is when you rip those shackles clear off, guys, and you really get freedom going on. This is a very powerful card. And maybe it's freedom from bad credit too. Maybe you're getting some monkeys off your back, getting a bill paid that used to be high interest or something like that, getting it out of there in a big way. And when we have the Devil card inverted and you're breaking free here, this is very purging energy, which is full moon energy. And I used to kind of look in your reading for clues of what is better for Virgos to do here. Is it full moon or new moon? But I ask Spirit directly now, which is better. Guess what they told you, Virgo? Full moon. This is a purging type of month. This is the time to get things out that don't belong there. The bills, the stagnation, whatever it is, the work kind of moves. We have time to go in the middle of your month. That's full moon energy, getting things out. We have it again here with the Devil card, the freedom, getting things, ripping these handcuffs right off so we are free to move around. Okay, that's purging energy. So very big full moon for you guys to pay attention to when we go into the moon cycles, which are now posted on my website. The 5 of Cups comes in too here, guys. So Virgos, I really need you guys to be on the good perception of things. I know this reading, some people may view this as like dark, and that's just silly because it's information to really avoid the dark. It's trying to preempt some things here so you don't get into trouble with some things. So this is actually very valuable information, I think. But here with the 5 of Cups, they're saying you gotta look on the good side of things. If you don't, you look on, the glass is half empty, you're going to bring that stuff in. You're going to attract all the things you don't want. That is not what you want to do. So you really got to be hopeful, optimistic, look on the bright side of things all July. They also want you to imagine, that is my Oracle Angel card, and it's kind of perfectly placed because they want you to imagine all that you can do as July ends here, guys. This is the time to really kind of dream, really kind of rack your mind around these mental experiments about what you see your life, progressing towards, what you really want to do, maybe even the short-term goals first. But they really want you to kind of go there. They want you to imagine all that can be. Your runestone, guys, last month I did the runestones as part of the angel protection reading. I'm not doing that now. That was kind of more by mistake. I forgot to do it as part of your reading, so I just kind of put it in there because I didn't want to leave you without it. But it is better placed here, so it is coming back home to these readings. Your runestone here is of flow, F-L-O-W. Going with the flow, don't resist the things, the current of the universe, the way things are going. Resistance is futile. It just doesn't pan out. It's just like going with the currents. The moon cycles talk about that too. It is much easier to ride your bike downhill than it is to ride it uphill. I mean, that's just common sense, but it's stuff that people don't think about or put into play in their everyday life unless, they're willfully doing so. And that's what they talk about here with flow is like, just go with the flow. Things are going to present themselves to you. You've got a load of information here of things to avoid in July. And hopefully this just kind of sets your GPS a little bit towards some certain things, maybe away from certain things. And like I said, we have a telling time reading coming up in about a week to 10 days, which is going to be very, very interesting for Virgos. So that concludes us here. The chemistry tracking is also posted on my website, guys. If you want to see what signs Virgo is kicking well with in the month of July, what signs Virgo should avoid or be cautious around in the month of July, all that, including your moon cycle calendar, is posted for free, always for free, guys. ScottSagent.com. Check that out. I hope you guys have an excellent July, and with all this information they've given you, I am confident that you will.
So I guess the fortune teller's right.